Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight up. If you want to hit your goals, it's not about how pumped you feel right now. It's about what you're going to do after the feeling fades, because it will fade. Motivation is temporary, but focus is a decision you make over and over and over again, even when your brain is screaming, "Well, let's just scroll for 5 more minutes." Now, I'm not here to sugarcoat this. Staying focused on your goals is hard. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, not successful. It wants what's easy, familiar, comfortable. But guess what? That version of you who crushes goals, that version lives in discomfort. That version takes action even when it's inconvenient. That version uses focus as a weapon. So let's start here. Do you actually know what your goal is? Like specifically, not I want to get in shape, but I'm going to run a 10K by August. And not I want to start a business, but I'm launching a website by the 15th and signing 3 clients in 60 days. Clarity is your first step to focus. Focus. Because when you know exactly what you're aiming at, distraction becomes easier to ignore. You're either moving towards your goal or you're not. It's that simple. Next, let's talk about distractions. We've got a world screaming for your attention. Notifications, news feeds, Netflix. And every time you get pulled away, your focus leaks out like air from a tire. So what do? You protect your focus like it's your damn life. Because in a way, it is. You block time. You turn off your phone. You write your goal on a Post-it and slap it on your laptop. You remind your brain this is what matters right now. You don't need to feel like it. You need to act like it. This is where the 5-second rule comes in. You feel that impulse to avoid the work? Count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Open the laptop, lace up the shoes, make the call. That tiny window between knowing what to do and actually doing it, that's where your future is made. You have 5 seconds to beat your brain at its own game before it convinces you to stay small. And here's another thing. Your environment either supports your focus or sabotages it. You can't work in chaos. You can't grow surrounded by people who don't believe in growth. So clean it up. Create a space that screams productivity. And audit your circle. If your friends laugh at your dreams, get new ones. Now let's talk about time. Because everyone says, I don't have time. That's BS. You have time. You're just spending it on the wrong things. You're binge watching progress instead of building it. Start tracking your time like you track your money. Where is it going? Is it aligned with your goal, or are you pouring your energy into things that don't get you closer to where you want to be? And let me remind you, focus is not a one-time decision. It's not a flip of a switch. It's thousands of tiny daily decisions. And you will slip. You will mess up. That's okay. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. Refocus, reset, recommit. You are not behind. You are not broken. You're becoming. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop wishing the path was easier. Start acting like your dreams are already in motion. It's your job to keep the momentum going. You've got the tools. You've got the vision. Now it's time to show up for yourself, even when it's hard. Because here's the truth. Your goals don't care how you feel today, but your future self, they care that you showed up anyway. You want to stay focused, then stop negotiating with excuses. You want to win? Then act like someone who does. You want to feel proud? Then do the work that earns that pride. This isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Every single goal you've ever set for yourself starts with clarity. But here's the thing most people get wrong. They confuse vague desires with actual clear goals. Saying I want to be successful isn't a goal. It's a wish. You start moving. And when you move, you create momentum. And momentum, my friend, is how big goals get crushed. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect timing. Get clear, get focused, and start moving. Because that's what successful people do. They don't just hope things work out. They define what they want, they focus on it like it's their job, and they act. So here's your moment. What do you want? Get clear, get honest, get serious, and then get to work. Distractions are not just things around you. They're often things within you. When you look at why you keep falling off track, why you lose focus, why you can't stay locked in on your goals, the answer usually comes down to something deeper. Emotional distraction, fear of failure, self-doubt, or even boredom. The outside world may be full of pings and notifications, but the real war is being fought inside your head. And if you don't learn to master that space, you will never master your focus. Let's talk real life. You sit down to work on that thing you've been putting off. Maybe it's your resume, maybe it's that online course, maybe it's your workout plan, and then your phone lights up, or your brain says, hey, maybe we should check Instagram real quick. And before you know it, 45 minutes are gone. You didn't just lose time, you lost momentum, you lost self-trust. And that's what distractions steal from you, your power. Distractions seem harmless, right? A quick scroll, a short break, one more YouTube video. But they are dangerous because they fracture your attention. They pull you out of a state of flow, out of intentional action, and into reactive living. You stop creating your life and start consuming it. And when you live in consumption mode, you delay progress, you delay joy, you delay results. So how do you stay focused in a world designed to distract you? You create systems. You stop relying on willpower. Because here's a fact. Your willpower is limited. It runs out. It gets tired. If your entire plan for focus is a try harder, you're already setting yourself up to fail. You need structure. You need rules. You need habits. One of the best tools for eliminating distractions is time blocking. If something matters, put it on your calendar. Not just a vague mental note. Actually block time for it. Want to write every morning? Schedule it. Want to exercise daily? Put it on your calendar like it's a meeting with your future self. When something is scheduled, it becomes real. When it's real, it gets done. And when you're in that block of time, go all in. Put your phone on airplane mode. Shut the door. Use noise-canceling headphones. Tell the people around you that you're off limits. Protect your focus like it's gold, because it is. Every minute you spend fully focused compounds into something meaningful. Now here's another big shift. Reduce the number of decisions you make in a day. Why? Because decision fatigue is real. Every time you pause to choose what to wear, what to eat, what task to do next, you drain your mental energy. Successful people eliminate small decisions so they can focus on the big ones. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day for a reason. When your life has fewer variables, you create more space for focus and creativity. Let's go deeper. Sometimes the biggest distraction isn't your phone. It's your fear. You don't dive into your goals because deep down you're scared. Scared of failing, scared of succeeding, scared of being judged. So instead of writing that blog post, you clean your desk. Instead of starting your side hustle, you binge watch Netflix. These distractions are comfort zones in disguise. They're soothing, they're safe, but they're also stealing your future. The antidote? Awareness. Every time you feel pulled away from your focus, pause and ask, what am I avoiding right now? Just asking the question brings you back to the present. It cuts through the haze and brings clarity. And that awareness, that's power. Another huge factor is environment. If your environment is full of triggers, TV remote in reach, open tabs on your browser, notifications on your phone, you're setting yourself up for distraction. So make your space work for you, not against you. Clear the clutter. Create a dedicated zone for deep work. Put the temptations out of sight, because environment design beats willpower every single time. And finally, learn to reward yourself. Focus shouldn't feel like punishment. When you complete a deep work session, celebrate it. When you finish a key task, acknowledge the win. Your brain needs those little hits of dopamine to reinforce the behavior. Over time, your focus becomes a habit, a ritual, a muscle. Let me be blunt. The world isn't going to become less distracting. Technology isn't slowing down. Noise isn't going away. If you want to achieve your goals, if you want to become the person you know you're capable of becoming, you have to decide that your focus is sacred. You have to treat it like a currency. Spend it wisely. Protect it fiercely. You already have what it takes. The focus, the drive, the ambition, it's already in you. But you have to get intentional. You have to wake up every day and choose not to be average. Choose not to let distractions control your life, because your goals are waiting. Your future is waiting. And the only thing standing in the way is what you choose to focus on. Goals are not just a list you make on New Year's Eve. Goals are commitments. They're your declaration to the world, and more importantly, to yourself, about what matters most to you. But let's be honest, setting goals is easy. Anyone can do that. The hard part is remembering those goals in the chaos of everyday life. The challenge is staying aligned with them when life gets messy, when you're tired, when motivation dips, and when the results don't show up fast enough. This is where the power of clarity and consistency comes in. The clearer your goals, the more likely you are to stick with them. And by clear, I don't mean vague aspirations like I want to be successful or I want to be healthier. I mean crystal clear, measurable, trackable goals that you can see, feel, and aim at. Because you can't hit a target you can't see. Want to lose weight? Decide how much. Want to grow your business? Define the numbers. Want to be more confident? Define what confidence looks like in your daily life. Now, once you've got that clarity, you need consistency. That's where most people fall apart. They do a lot for a short time instead of a little for a long time. But success is not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every single day and doing the boring, unsexy, unglamorous work. It's writing the paragraph when you don't feel like writing. It's choosing the salad when you want the fries. It's making the sales call when you'd rather scroll through social media. It's those small daily choices that compound into something extraordinary.
Yeah.
Let's get practical. One of the best things you can do to stay focused on your goals is to reconnect with them every single morning. Before the world grabs your attention, before you open email, before you check the news, take 5 minutes to write down your top 3 goals. Every single morning. This isn't just busy work. It's mental conditioning. It's a daily reminder of who you are becoming and what matters to you. You're training your brain to stay locked in. You're aligning your focus with your future. And now here's the part people don't talk about enough. You need to emotionally connect to your goals. If your goals don't move you, they won't motivate you. You have to feel it. You have to want it in your bones. Ask yourself, why does this matter to me? What's at stake if I don't achieve it? How will my life change if I do? Tie your goals to something bigger than comfort, bigger than applause. Tie them to your purpose, wire them to your freedom. Tie them to your future. And while we're at it, stop chasing too many goals at once. You're not a machine. You're a human being. If you try to transform your health, your relationships, your career, your mindset, your finances, and your spirituality all at the same time, you will burn out. And when you burn out, you don't just stall progress. You start to lose trust in yourself. So simplify. Prioritize. What are the 1-2 goals that will move the needle the most right now? Lock in on those. Do less, but do it better. Here's something else most people overlook. Review your progress weekly. Take time every Sunday or whatever day works for you to reflect. What worked? What didn't? Where did you crush it? Where did you slip? This is not about judgment. It's about feedback. You need to treat your goals like a project. Every week is a sprint. Every review is a reset. This keeps you accountable. This keeps your momentum alive. Let's also talk about resistance, because it will show up. Every time you get serious about your goals, life will test you. Distractions will multiply. Doubt will creep in. People around you might not understand. You'll have days when the voice in your head says, "What's the point? This isn't working." That voice is lying. That voice is fear, and you can't let fear sit in the driver's seat of your life. Acknowledge it. Talk back to it. Remind yourself that this is part of the process. That every successful person you admire has walked through the exact same fire. You also need to create a support system. You can't climb a mountain alone. Share your goals with people who will cheer you on and call you out. Find accountability. Hire a coach. Join a mastermind. Tell a friend. Join mastermind. Tell a friend. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win and who aren't afraid to say, "Hey, you said this mattered to you. Why aren't you following through?" That kind of support is rare, and it's powerful. And finally, be patient. Progress doesn't always show up with a ribbon around it and set. Some days the win is just not quitting. Some weeks the win is simply staying in the game. You won't always see the results right away, but if you stay consistent, you will see the shift. You'll feel your mindset strengthening. You'll notice the discipline forming. You'll wake up one day and realize you've become the person you used to dream about. And it won't be because of some big leap. It'll be because you kept showing up one focused day at a time. So stay close to your goals, reconnect with them daily, feel them deeply, track your progress, get support. And above all, don't give up. Because the truth is, most people never hit their goals simply because they stopped showing up. Not because they weren't capable. Not because the goal was impossible. But because they lost focus. Don't let that be your story. Let your story be one of resilience. Your story be one of resilience. One of clarity. One of consistency. You've got this. Actions are everywhere. They're not just the obvious ones like social media, email, or the never-ending stream of notifications on your phone. They also come disguised as busy work, overthinking, self-doubt, comparison, and even other people's opinions. The truth is, if you don't learn how to master your focus, the world will decide for you what gets your attention. And that, my friend, is the fast track to regret. Every single time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you are saying a no to the future you are trying to build. That should hit you, because this isn't about being a productivity robot. It's about being fiercely protective of your time, your energy, and your vision. Your goals demand boundaries, and you have to be unapologetic about enforcing them. Think about it like this. Your attention is a currency. Every day you're spending it. The question is, what are you buying with it? Are you investing it in the habits, actions, and mindset that move you closer to your dream life? Or are you wasting it on things that distract, drain, and detour you from the person you're trying to become? This isn't just about time management, it's about life management. Let's talk real-life application. The first step to eliminating distractions is brutal honesty. You need to audit your day. Track where your time actually goes, not where you think it goes, because there's often a big difference. Use a timer, use a journal, use whatever works. But log your activities in 30-minute blocks for at least 3 days. You will be shocked at how much time you're losing to things that have nothing to do with your priorities. Next, identify your top 3 energy leaks. Maybe it's mindless scrolling. Maybe it's saying yes to everyone else's priorities. Maybe it's letting your inbox run your life. Whatever it is, spot it, call it out, and make a plan to shut it down. For example, if your phone is a constant distraction, don't just try to use it less. That doesn't work. Set physical boundaries. Use Do Not Disturb. Put in another room when you're working. Delete the apps during your focus hours. Create friction between you and your distraction. Now here's the part that people miss. Eliminating distractions is only half the battle. You also need to replace them with intention. It's not enough to remove the noise. You have to actively create silence for deep work. That might mean blocking out 90 minutes every morning for your most important goal. It might mean turning off notifications after 8 p.m. so you can sleep better. It might mean saying a no to events, conversations, or commitments that don't align with where you're headed. Here's a powerful mindset shift. Not everything requires your response. Not every text needs to be answered right now. Not every invitation is worth your time, and not every opportunity is aligned with your purpose. High achievers aren't just driven, they're selective. They understand that the wrong yes can delay the right success. Protecting your focus isn't rude, it's responsible. There's also something to be said about creating an environment that supports your goals. If your physical space is cluttered, your mind will be too. If your digital space is chaotic, it will pull you in 100 directions. Clean up your environment. Organize your workspace. Simplify your digital life. Make it easy to focus by removing the friction and temptation around you. And while we're talking about environment, let's talk about people. Some of the biggest distractions in your life are not things. They're relationships. People who don't respect your boundaries. People who bring drama, gossip, negativity, or chaos into your space. You need to ask yourself, does this person support my growth, or do they sabotage it? You are under no obligation to keep energy vampires in your circle. Choose your people wisely. Surround yourself with those who energize you, not those who exhaust you. Another game changer is creating routines that anchor your day. When you have a morning routine that primes your mind, a work routine that prioritizes deep focus, and an evening routine that helps you reflect and recharge, you're less likely to get derailed. Routines build momentum, and momentum eliminates hesitation, which is a major source of distraction. And yes, discipline is a part of this. You don't need to feel like focusing in order to focus. In fact, most of the time you won't feel like it. That's normal. But focus is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Start small. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Work without distraction. Take a 5-minute break. Repeat. That's called the Pomodoro technique, and it's brilliant. Over time, increase your focus intervals. Your brain will adapt. You also need to create what I call a focus rituals. These are cues that signal your brain it's time to lock in. It could be as simple as putting on noise-canceling headphones, lighting a candle at your desk, or playing the same playlist every time you write. These rituals train your brain to shift into flow faster. Let me leave you with this. Distraction is a choice, and so is focus. Every day, you get to choose what gets your attention. You get to choose what matters. You get to choose whether you move toward your goals or away from them. And if you want extraordinary results, you need extraordinary focus. Focus. Not sometimes, not when it's easy, every single day. Your future depends on your ability to focus in the present. So eliminate the noise, set the boundary, shut the door, and do the work. Because the life you want isn't built in the distance. It's built in the next 30 focused minutes. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like a wave. And if you're relying on it to carry you through every goal, you're going to crash hard when it disappears. The real game changer, building systems and habits that work regardless of how you feel. That's the difference between people who dream and people who do. Anyone can get excited about a goal, but successful people design their day to make that goal inevitable. They take motivation out of the equation. They make success their default. So how do you do that? You reverse engineer your goals into actions so small, so simple, that they become automatic. You stop waiting to feel ready and start creating triggers that pull you into momentum. You stack habits. You schedule them. You make them so ingrained into your day that skipping them feels unnatural. Because willpower is not a strategy. Systems are. Let's say your goal is to write a book. Motivation might help you write a few pages. But when life gets busy, when you're tired, when doubt creeps in, motivation won't show up. That's when your system saves you. A system that says every morning at 7 a.m., I write for 30 minutes, no matter what. And guess what? Over time, that becomes your identity. A person who writes daily. Not when it's convenient. Daily. This applies to everything. Fitness, business, relationships. You don't get in shape from one hyped-up workout. You get there by showing up consistently, especially when you don't want to. You don't build a business by working in bursts of excitement. You build it brick by brick with rituals, schedules, and priorities. You don't create strong relationships from random acts of love. You do it through regular presence, communication, and care. Now, here's where people go wrong. They overcommit. They try to overhaul their entire life in one weekend and wonder why nothing sticks. The secret is to start tiny. Just to start tiny. You don't need a 5-hour morning routine. You need one habit anchored to something you already do that moves you forward. For example, after you brush your teeth, you meditate for 2 minutes. After you make coffee, you open your journal. After your lunch break, you do 10 push-ups. It's called habit stacking, and it's powerful because it rides the momentum of an existing routine. Shift your case is your environment. If you're serious about building systems, your surroundings need to support them. Want to eat healthier? Remove junk food from your kitchen and prep meals in advance. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow or desk, visible and ready. Want to work out daily? Lay your clothes out the night before. Reduce friction. Make the habit easy to start and hard to ignore. Because your willpower is limited, but your environment can work for you 24/7. Track your habits. It sounds basic, but tracking creates awareness, and awareness drives change. Use a calendar, app, or habit tracker. Celebrate streaks. Watch your consistency build like compound interest. When you see a visual record of your progress, it reinforces your identity. You're not just someone who wants to focus. You're someone who does. Now let's talk identity. This is the core of any system because habits follow identity. If you see yourself as someone who's inconsistent, disorganized, or lazy, you'll sabotage your own progress. But when you start showing up differently, even in small ways, you start being someone different. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. That's what systems do. They shape your identity through repetition. Also, systems thrive on clarity. You need to know exactly what action you're taking and when. Vague goals like a get in shape or a be productive don't work. But clear systems like a walk 10,000 steps before dinner or work a 90-minute blocks with a 10-minute break do. Clarity removes the decision fatigue that kills motivation. It gives your brain a script to follow. Even on days when you don't feel like performing, you also need review systems, weekly check-ins with yourself. Ask, what worked? What didn't? What distracted me? What energized me? Adjust as you go. Systems aren't meant to be rigid. They're meant to evolve. Your life changes, your goals shift, your priorities move. But the structure of showing up intentionally, that stays constant. Remember this, average people wait to feel inspired. High performers create a lifestyle that generates inspiration. They don't rely on moods. They rely on structure. They set themselves up to win, even on their worst days. That's the difference. Not talent, not luck, structure, systems, habits. Here's a bonus tip. Use the 2-minute rule. If a habit takes less than 2 minutes to start, it's easy enough to do every day. Want to become someone who journals? Just open the journal and write one sentence. That's it. Want to meditate? Sit down and breathe for 2 minutes. Want to build a reading habit? Read 1 page. Small actions done consistently beat big actions done occasionally. Always. So if you're tired of starting over, of feeling stuck, of not following through, stop chasing motivation. Build a system. Make success automatic. Create rituals, not reactions. Design routines that work even when life doesn't. And most of all, make your future self proud by showing up today, no matter what mood you're in, because consistency beats intensity. Systems beat motivation, and who you become is shaped by what you do daily, not what you feel occasionally.